You go up near Cookstown Road.
Hi, this is the Performance Hour. This is a bus, the number 3, and this program is Fish and Chips with Jimi, a concert documentary by Chris Brooks featuring the Roger House Band. There's only 2 things you have to know about it. The first is where to get off the bus, Cookstown Road, where a very odd event happens once a year. It's odd because of all the places where it probably should happen, San Francisco maybe, or that farm in Woodstock, New York. It doesn't happen there. It happens in St. John's, Newfoundland, up on Cookstown Road. And that's odd. The other thing you have to know is the date, September 17th. That's when all of this was recorded, a year ago this Thursday. The date is important because September the 17th is when somebody died, way back in 1970.
The music of Jimi Hendrix, the American Negro Indian, considered by many as one of the world's finest electric guitarists, who died today in London from an overdose of drugs.
Jimi
He was
Hendrix
25.
was always a favorite at pop festivals, including the one last year at Woodstock, New York.
I didn't think it would be as much of a shock as it was. I'm very, very sad that I'm not going to hear Hendrix again.
If I stay too long, people try to pull me down.
The evening is cool, grey, with a hint of sea salt in the air. The number 3 Metro bus blows diesel fumes into the doorway of Leo's Fish and Chips. Down Cookstown Road, past the Jackman and Green grocery store, special, cooked ham, $1.99 a pound, past the garbage cans in the alley beside Serve All Reconditioned Appliances, We Repair All Makes, stops for the traffic light by the green and white sign that says Bridget's Pub. This is not the summer of love, Monterey, California, 1967. It's the summer of the fishery failure, St. John's, Newfoundland, 1991.
Thanks for calling Bridget's Entertainment Line. Tuesday, September 17th, the second annual celebration of Jimi Hendrix music with the Roger House Band. Tickets are $5 at the door only. Come early. Seating is limited. We've got imported harp lagers, Mythics, and Guinness on tap at the bar. You can have a 99-cent Labatt's beer with our delicious fish and chips. And
Inside the pub, a 30-year-old overweight guitar player whose roots lie in Greens Harbor, Trinity Bay, is tuning up with his band. It's 7:15 p.m.
Dessert. Try our Saturday brunch, only $4.49, and served from 11:30 a.m. till 7 p.m. Your choice of ham, bacon, or pancakes with 2 eggs, homemade hash browns, and raisin white or whole wheat toast.
Well, the food is good here, but, well, you know, we're really here to see those guys play mainly, right? We're about 2.5 hours early. Yeah, we came down early because we wanted to get a really good seat. You know, it's not just hearing it, it's watching it too, hey. It's pretty significant because Jimi Hendrix is dead and Stevie Ray Vaughan is dead now almost a year. So this night above all is a really good night to catch Roger.
I like Roger House.
I'm Roger House, and I'm here to commemorate Jimi Hendrix's life on the anniversary of his death. We did this last year. When we did it last year, the feel in the room was incredible. It was electric. You know, I mean, I played a lot of nights in this club. There was never that feeling, that kind of energy before. That's the only night I've ever felt that kind of energy anywhere. Everybody is here for one purpose, to commemorate the fact that he lived and the fact that he did what he did.
$7:30 p.m. Across town, number 70 Sinclair Avenue. Lead Belly and Bruce Coburn posters on the wall. Package of Du Maurier by the typewriter.
My name is Suzanne Norman. I guess I'm a freelance journalist right now, out of work, so I'm sort of trying to sell a few stories, but it's what I do.
You're going to Bridget's tonight?
Yeah. I'm going to finish my story. I'm going to try and finish it. It's pretty hard trying to finish something when you know you got something else you want to do. And then I'm supposed to call a couple of friends who are wallpapering, and they're going. Then another friend of mine, he's looking for a babysitter. And we're going to meet up and hopefully get down and get a half-decent seat, and it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. reliving old memories and thinking about old times. And that's what it is for me, although not, when he was alive, but after, and how we sort of came into his music. Someone brought a Jimi Hendrix record or a recording down to a basement somewhere, and we just started listening to it, and then all of a sudden we were all Jimi Hendrix fans, or same thing with The Doors or The Who or whatever, same sort of thing.
Do you remember where you were on September the 17th, 1970?
Probably. I was pretty young. 1970, I was only... Well, it was the day before my birthday, so I was going to be 7. I wasn't very old.
Where was I 21 years ago? Well, shit, I was in grade 3. Hendrix was dead before I knew who he was. I didn't find out about Hendrix till about, say 73. I was about 12. And somebody gave me a copy of Electric Ladyland.
So you were 9 when...
Yeah, when he died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just 9. 9 and a bit. 9 and a couple of months.
Maybe I was born at the wrong time or something, I don't know. I don't think it's passé by any means. It just lives on.
What time are you going to go up?
Well, I gotta finish a fish story. Probably about 9.
Shouldn't you be planning to smoke a lot of dope or drop some really good acid or something of the...
Are you using my name in this? I gotta get jobs.
9 p.m. Bridget's is standing room only. A middle-aged man with a goatee is sitting cross-legged directly in front of one of the loudspeakers. A girl in a tight red dress curls in his lap and licks his ear. Backstage, Roger House tucks a T-shirt into his baggy jeans. The shirt says, Os Home, I think. Then he pulls it tight over his paunch and cinches his belt so it hangs over, and you can see it really says, Austin's Home of the Blues.
Oh, yeah. Just about that time. I just got the 2-minute warning, just like in football. I can honestly say that I am a serious ball of nervous energy underneath. I'm wound like a spring. I'm running too fast. Play good, Mr. House. I'm sure going to try. With everything I got in me. Of course, that's half of it.
Good evening. Welcome to Bridget's. We all know why we're here.
You look at it like, why do this every year and stuff? I don't know. And people just jam in there, and you see them hanging around the walls, and they're sort of heads out between. It's the whole thing. Everybody just cramming in there to see this again. I don't think it would work anywhere else than Bridget's either. It's good. I'm glad someone's doing it.
You know the moon turned fire red. Fire red. Well, now my mama, now the gypsy was right, and then she
day hasn't gone by in a lot of years. The day hasn't gone by without me thinking of it. It's, 20 years ago today, or 15 years ago today, or 10 years ago today, or whatever. Because I think, in a way, I understand how guitar players must have felt when Hendrix died. Unjust. There is no justice. There is no God in this pizza parlor. Whatever that means.
I said fly on my little voodoo chair.
I don't know if it's fair to say he was the greatest guitar player that ever lived, but I think he may have been one of the most influential. He broke some ground that nobody has managed to break the same way since, I mean, there are a few Hendrix derivative folks out there, like you got your Robin Trower and Pat Travers and Jeff Healey, and you had Stevie Ray Vaughan. God rest his soul. And everybody got a little piece of it, but nobody could. I've never heard anybody yet who could cover all of it. There were so many facets, and colors and textures to Hendrix playing, and it just nobody's come close yet.
I said fly on my little voodoo chair.
This is, we're in the W.H. Smith bookstore in the Avalon Mall. And on this aisle we have calendars, computer books, business, student notes, cliff notes, reference, and language books down here. Foreign languages and English mostly. Okay, we're in the what we call our performing arts section, where we keep our music and poetry, drama, television, cinema, and books. And right here we have a biography of Jimi Hendrix. Excuse me while I kiss the sky, the life of Jimi Hendrix, which has been out for several years now. I think 1978. It's been in print ever since. Popular book. My name is Glenn Brown. I manage a bookstore. This evening, I think I'm going to go down and listen to Jimi Hendrix night at Bridget's with Roger House, God willing. If I can get out in time from work, about 10 o'clock or so, I'll go down. Although some people I know are going to go up at 6 this afternoon to get a good seat, so we'll see if I can get in. I'm a very big fan of Roger House, actually. I try and catch Roger as much as I can. There's a bunch of people I know going to be there, so I think it'll be just a very enjoyable evening. And hopefully some memories from when I was in university come back. Jimi Hendrix was, well, I started listening, I guess, around 68, 69. And just, when you start at university, a lot of things were going on politically and stuff. And talking about, remembering going to see the Woodstock film and things like that. You know, just the way you looked at the world and what you did back then.
How is it different now? The world and the way you look at it?
Well, more responsibility now. We all grew up, I guess, and now you have to worry more about what you're doing for other people as opposed so much as to what you did for yourself. Life is, there's a lot less free time.
Is the world different too?
I think so, yeah, in many respects. I think people seem to be a bit more concerned about careers and money and settling down than, at least from what it appeared around for me and people around us. People were not quite so much concerned about that. They were more concerned about broader issues, sometimes politically. There was a lot of concern in students at the time, of course, with the Vietnam War and all of that. And people were experimenting with different lifestyles. We had people talking about communes and that. Books that were read. Herman Hesse was very popular. Orwell, Lord of the Rings. People were reading those sorts. Politics, a lot of people were reading a lot of Karl Marx, communist things. Che Guevara.
That type of music sort of puts you back into some phase of your life. I mean, for me it was sitting around in friends' basements and drinking beer and talking and listening to some good music. People don't want to forget.
I remember when there was the nuclear test in Alaska, the Americans there was a very big demonstration here at the consulate. The police showed up, the RCMP and the constabulary, and I doubt if that would happen this week. I don't know if you get that much concern over something like that today. Things seem to be a bit spontaneous back then.
I guess it's like anything. Could be pictures or books or whatever. I mean, you read them again, or you look at them again, or you listen to it again. It sort of puts you back into a period of your life that seemed a little more simple, maybe.
Probably naive is a good word. We all thought that things were changing. We all felt we were all part of something and had a role to play in it. And things have changed, but I think everybody felt that things were changing and they would continue to do so, as opposed to maybe some of the things that have actually come out.
If the person that you were 21 years ago could see you now, what would that person think of how you turned out?
I think the person I was then would probably find it odd that I ended up here, but maybe would have understood it. But I don't know. I always liked books. Books have been one of my favorite things in life. So I guess you may have been able to see it, but I didn't think I'd end up in business, to be quite honest. No, I really didn't.
How's the time, Erica?
5 to 9.
We'll finish these and I'll give Kevin a call, see if he wants to go. Because he did mention that he was interested.
I'm Erica Pittman, and I'm 21, and I was asked to go to this Jimi Hendrix concert with my father. He asked me to go with him.
Well, this is almost done. You just finish this, and I'll go and call Kevin so that we'll catch you in time to go down.
We have one Jimi Hendrix album in the house. He found it. He dug it out of our pile. He used to make all the covers for his own records, just for fun, back in the 60s. He put cardboard together and made a new jacket and painted it and wrote all the songs out and made his own design for the album.
This is the one Hendrix album that's in the house, right? But here they are. It's A Cry of Love, Astro Man, Angel, In From the Storm, Belly Button Window.
Records look so weird now. Really, I hardly ever see them.
It's just an album.
Sean has a whole bunch.
Freedom, Drifting, Easy Rider, Nightbird Flying, My Friend. The Star Spangled Banner is not on here. That's not on this one. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, you too or somebody did it as a cover on your last album, I think, or had it on their album somehow. So when they did the Star Spangled Banner, did they get in trouble?
Well, it was controversial.
Remember what happened when Roseanne Barr sang the anthem? She got in trouble. They don't like it screwed around with.
Well, it was controversial because it was. He used to. If I remember it, gosh, I haven't even seen the Woodstock film for so long. But in the tune, he builds in sound effects that are like machine guns and things, war sounds, and that was quite a controversial little ingredient in the piece, you know, because it was right in that time when there was lots of war protests, and that was part of what he was.
21 years ago. It was, let's see, I remember what I was doing. The reason I made the Hendrix album cover for myself is I was at art school. I had gone back to art school to Sir George Williams, which is now called Concordia in Montreal. And it was, I believe it was the same year as the Sir George riot when the students burnt the computer room. I believe that was the same year, if I'm not mistaken. So it was, I've forgotten how much heat was going on. That's the year that I was in school and happened to be making those album covers. It was an interesting memory. In there somewhere in that whole mix of people who fell victim to the drugs and the whole lifestyle. But I remember how much I did like his stuff when he wasn't dead, when he was very much alive, when he was really new before he became really well known, and it truly was exciting, and his stuff was innovative, and that you could tell that he was going to have a following and that people would really respond to the kinds of things he was experimenting with. That I remember, and I sort of prefer to remember that than the whole music and drug thing that happened later on, when people got as much known for the fact that they died from drugs as they did for their great music.
Obscure piece of Hendrix here. Bet everybody's heard the Woodstock album, haven't you? Yeah. I bet you 90% of you never heard this tune. But it's on there. I have no idea what this is called. It's just the jam at Woodstock.
Kevin Lewis, and I teach theatre arts at Holy Heart. So I'm just waiting for my son to come home now to babysit, and if he comes home, I'm going to go down. Well, you know, Jimi Hendrix was back in the 60s when we were all on some kind of a mission. We thought we were, and
what was the mission?
Well, I suppose, you know, when we look back at how we went from, you know, living very disciplined, you know, lives as adolescents and young adults to just being freer, I suppose, freer in our thinking and freer in our way of life, maybe too free. You know, he stood up there with his guitar, and he had this tone and this poetry, supposedly, that, you know, sort of saying, you know, this change, I guess, like Bob Dylan. And people go to hear along, and the parents were upset because the teenagers were, they were sort of doing their own thing, and I guess for generations we just weren't allowed to do our own thing. You had to do what you were told, and religion had a big influence. And And you're sort of put in a, pigeonhole and expect to behave. There are a lot of good things about the 60s. I feel sorry for the kids that you don't have today. There's not that, you don't have that, mission or whatever the word is, but there's definitely not, there doesn't seem to be anything happening besides a bit of electronic noise. Yeah, listen. This is Chris Brooks. This is my son, Chad. Are you staying home, Chad? Okay. Yeah, I can go there. Oh, yes, okay. So my son just came in. Like, I can go down and see this 21st anniversary. Do. I now have short hair and I don't have any headbands. So I just hope I don't feel out of place. But I still have hair, so I'm going to change my shirt now and go on down there. I hope I can get in. Probably be a big line up there.
Curious thing to be going to a Hendrix themed night with your daughter, who wasn't even born when Jimi Hendrix bit the dust.
There's a lot of people going because there's nowhere to park here at all. Maybe I can fit in here. Can I park? Oh, it says loading zone though.
Be loading tonight.
One thing I remember was a guy growing his own opium. And some of the guys just sniffed the opium, but most of us didn't. But what I found funny about it was people used to come in to his room, he's growing the poppies, and people used to comment on how nice these flowers were. Nobody knew this guy was growing his own opium. Because I was really I was a conservative novice hippie. The conservative hippie would be contradictory, wouldn't it? What's that word? Oxymoron, is that the word? Because if you were a hippie, you weren't conservative, were you? I mean, not in your thinking.
There's a lineup. Yeah, there's a lineup. A long one, too.
Did you figure on this?
No, I didn't figure it'd be like this tonight. No. Not this much. I thought it'd be pretty close to being filled, but I didn't think there was a lineup. I heard there was a lineup since 9.
How many people ahead of you?
I don't know. 15. And they're not coming out quite so fast as that.
How long are you prepared to wait?
I don't know. Have to work in the morning.
I tried to butt in line, but the people wouldn't let me. So here I am at the end of the line. Yeah. I'm hoping at the end of this set there'll be a few people coming out, and then I'll be able to go in. Hi! Pretty good, thanks.
It's down in Seattle in '88. Trying to go to the Seahawks.
My husband plays in the band, David Vivian, and I'm still in the lineup anyways. But still, I don't want to skip ahead of all these people and get them angry.
Played Hendrix at least every 4th or 5th tune. Excellent. We got Hendrix, like 3 or 4 Hendrix songs an hour on each channel. They're just in love with Hendrix down there. That's where he's from. Anyway. So that was pretty good. Went to the Seahawks game. It was all Hendrix during the. What a gentleman. What a gentleman. That's good to see. Chivalry is not dead. Now we're up to number, what, 2, 4, 6, 7?
We're throwing...
So where are you when Jimi Hendrix died?
Throwing good time after bad.
No, here we go. Yeah, yeah. Woo! Woo! Pile him out! Pile him out! Woo! 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 All right, 6 more, 6 more. I don't mind personally, but...
See, I don't smoke normally, right? Cigarettes, so I'm not used to lighting something outside. Plus, the weed's a bit damp, right? It's not going to work. It's rolled too tight and it's too damp.
Exactly an hour.
If I didn't cut it down today... But the other ones we dried over the lamp, so that worked out okay. We fried ourselves before we got here. Oh, he's playing Little Wing. Shit. Let me in.
Well, she's a walking.
Isn't there something odd about a bunch of people lining up to listen to music of a guitar player that died 2 decades ago? Is there something a bit odd about this?
Not really. I mean, people still read the Bible or the Shakespeare, you know. There you go.
We're not hanging out.
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
She's not. Can you come here for a second? You, yes, yeah. Are you Dave's wife?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just say so?
Well, I don't want to piss off everybody.
Well, you're a musician. Her husband's playing. Excuse me.
Oh, we know that.
I'm really embarrassed about what happened.
Listen, I'm Dave's son.
Ahead of us. Hold on.
I mean, she was set breaks now. There'll be a bunch of people.
I'm Dave's mistress. Dave keeps me in an apartment on the other side of town.
Anything.
not interested in hearing a playback of Jimi Hendrix. I'm interested in hearing how people play when his music means something to them, and it does something for them, and then they play their music, and it's got a lot of the feeling and the power of Hendrix music in it. I don't even know if it's faithful. I just know that it's the same kind of guts and feeling that I first heard when I heard Hendrix music. That's all that counts.
I know that tune, Little Wing, because I heard it on a Sting album a couple of years ago. I hadn't heard it before. I heard Sting's version, and when I read on the jacket of the cassette, it said that it was Hendrix song. The Sting version's a bit more romantic and toned down, and Jimi Hendrix is a bit more wild.
Said she's walking through the clouds with a circus man that's been running around. Butterflies and zebras, yeah. Baby, and fairy tales. You know that's all she thinks about. Riding with the wind.
Well, see, it's the thing, right? You know, Jimi Hendrix is dead, right? I'm here because I want to hear Roger House play Jimi Hendrix, right? You know? Roger's a great blues musician, right? Jimi Hendrix was a great blues musician in his own right. And I mean, if there was a group here playing, The Who was my favorite group, second to the Grateful Dead, of course. If there's a group here tonight doing a cover of either one of those groups, I'd be here as well, right? You know? Stuck in the past, living in the past. I read an article by Lenny Kravitz once about something about living in the past. I can't remember what he said, but I liked it at the time. There you go.
You know, as loose and abandoned as I'm trying to be tonight, at the same time, you got to think about the fact that there's a lot of people here who stood out in the weather and, you know, paid their 2 bits to see the high diving act. And I just don't think I can put on as sharp a high diving act if I'm stoned or any of that stuff. So I leave it alone, man. It worked for Hendrix, obviously, or he wouldn't have played so much great stuff at times when everybody knew he was wired for sound. But I guess I just don't have that kind of constitution, because I don't do anything when I'm playing. Pepsi and cigarettes. That's it.
Thank you very much. Oh, it's last call for the bar, folks. Last call for the bar. It's just about last tune for us time. I'm going to invite Mr. Pinhorn back to the stage.
Hendrix died, 21 years ago this year, tonight. I still got 14-year-old kids coming in to take lessons from me. And what do they want to learn? They want to learn Hendrix. He was dead 7 years before they were born. They still love it. You know, that's the kind of guitar player he was.
The first thing out of their mouth is Hendrix.
He was dead 7 years by the time these kids were born. And still, it's the first thing out of their mouths. So. That's all I need to say.
Keep it going! Keep it going!
Okay, we're starting to play Watchtower. And we get through the intro, and the intro's fine. Until we come into a little section there. B string, bang, snaps, gone. There seems to be some kind of jinx on this tune. Last year, in the middle of the second solo, the amp blew up. Seriously. So, the boys start to vamp away at the riff. I get really, really pissed off. Take one guitar off, turn off the amp, pull the cord, pick up the other strap it on, plug it in, amp back on, and start again. Well, not start again, because the boys keep vamping on. And I just join in, fairly mean and nasty, after I get the second guitar on, because I'm so pissed off about having broken a string.
There must be some kind of way out of here, said the joker to the thief. There's too much confusion, I can't get no relief. Businessmen, they drink my wine, lawmen till my word. None of them along the line knows what any of it is worth.
Shane Kelly and I run Bridget's. It's a different atmosphere than your usual weekend at Bridget's. It's the only show we've ever had at Bridget's that could be termed a concert. People show up and they show up early and they don't want to miss it. At 9:45 there was a lineup. You know, how many places are you going to walk into and find someone with even a couple of Hendrix songs in their set list and do them faithfully? Newfoundland being as detached as it is, who would ever figure that? Something curious, but I don't think it really matters so much that it's a full house. I think if there's only half as many people there, he'd still be having as much fun. It's an outlet for him to, once a year, if it keeps going, you know, keep it alive and probably get it out of his system for a year.
Kept the view while all the ladies came and went, barefoot servants too.
Jimi Hendrix is important to Roger because I guess that's where he started. That's the way he started, and from there went into the blues.
Two riders were approaching, and the wind began to howl. Yeah, yeah.
I think he's probably another one of the unsung heroes, you know, at least in this city. He's as good a guitar player as anybody that's gigging across Canada. There's going to be your Jimi Hendrixes and your Stevie Ray Vaughns, but on the next tier down, there's people like Roger House, and there's a lot of them around. There's not a lot of them here, but I'm sure, you know, you go to any backwater place anywhere across Canada and the States, and you're going to find something like this. But it doesn't have to be Jimi Hendrix night. But, you know, you're going to find, you can walk into clubs anywhere and ask, you know, why is this guy here? How come he's not gone on to better things? Well, you know, 75% of it is luck. And I guess the cards just haven't fallen that way yet.
Thank you very much. Happy Hendrix Night.
Jimi Hendrix lives forever.
Peace, love, and Jimi Hendrix.
The spirit lives on, man, in the music.
It's now 1 o'clock in the morning. Bridget's is steamed up with sweat, cigarettes, and beer. But not with marijuana. Not that I can notice. No one freaked out on clear light in the washroom. No one took off their clothes. No one said, groovy. Outside, on Cookstown Road, the last number 3 Metro bus went home for the night an hour ago. Kevin Lewis, the theater arts teacher from Holy Heart Collegiate, stands on the sidewalk fishing for his car keys.
A lot of memories. Some good, some ugly. Well, let's just deal with the good ones. It was a good time. It was a good period. It was a good period to be young and free and take on the world. But some of the things reminded me of. There was also an ugly side to it, right? You know, well, some guys didn't survive it, and Hendrix was one of them. That's it.
That's it. The 4 people, wiping the sweat off their faces, who played the music you've been listening to are Wade Pinhorn on keyboards, on bass, Dave Vivian.
Are you Dave's wife?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just say so?
No, I don't want to piss off everybody.
Well, you're a musician. Her husband's playing, excuse me.
Howie Southwood played drums, and guitar and vocals were by Roger House.
Next year, we'll be here again. Guaranteed. Shane and I have agreed that we're going to do it every year till one of us is dead.
So, Jimmy, in case your ghost is planning to fly down and eavesdrop on the land of the living next week for your 22nd, you might want to forget the Fillmore and check out Bridget's instead. Shane doesn't keep much in the way of barbiturates or crystal meth at the bar, but if you want a Blue Star beer, well, you can get it on special for 99 cents with your fish and chips. You know how to get here, right? Just hop the number 3 bus.
Stay away from the brown acid. The brown acid is bad.
You want to experiment, just take half a hit.
You've been listening to Fish and Chips with Jimmy, a concert documentary recorded on location by Bob Sharp and mixed by Tom Ronan and Terry Windsor. Our production assistant was Noreen George. Additional interviews were done by Dorothy Enger. Special thanks to Suzanne Norman, Glenn Brown, Erica and Ken Pittman, and Kevin Lewis, and also to the management and staff of Bridget's Tavern. The program was written and produced in St. John's by Chris Brooks.
Next year, we'll be here again. Guaranteed. Shane and I have agreed that we're going to do it every year till one of us is dead. Stay away from the brown acid.
Yeah.
The brown acid is bad.
You want to experiment, just take half a hit.
You've been listening to Fish and Chips with Jimi, a concert documentary recorded on location by Bob Sharp and mixed by Tom Ronan and Terry Windsor. Our production assistant was Noreen George. Additional interviews were done by Dorothy Enger. Special thanks to Suzanne Norman, Glenn Brown, Erica and Ken Pittman, and Kevin Lewis, and also to the management and staff of Bridget's Tavern. The program was written and produced in St. John's by Chris Brooks.